What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Stand, where we are doing another draft today here on the Underdog Fantasy platform. We're going to go ahead, get in here into another Fast Puppy. As you can see, it's obviously getting towards the end. Hopefully, we can sneak into one more tomorrow, but here we go. Let's go ahead, see what episode 13 can bring. It's a little stormy outside, so just seems appropriate weather for this draft. So obviously we'll see where we land in the draft order. 5 more people away, but going to be going along this draft probably with the strategy that I have been going in my personal redraft drafts. Obviously, wide receiver is how I have been starting, especially because most of the drafts I am in do have those 3 wide receiver sets. So for me, just filling out those two options just seems appropriate because in the past I've always felt that even though I've kind of been still fighting there in the pack, I've been missing that one just dynamic playmaker that just obviously puts that roster over the moon. So to me, betting on 2 top guys is going to be the way to go. And then hopefully later, still fill that roster out. Maybe get a Chris Godwin. Maybe get obviously a Calvin Ridley. Keon Coleman is a great rookie who I believe in. 6'4", going to be Josh Allen's number one target. That's my bet. But hey, pick number 2. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, in the past, we have been going CeeDee Lamb. He has been my pick. I have 0 Tyreek Hill shares at this time. He's another great wide receiver. To me, though, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a surefire pick, especially this year, especially with their schedule. So I would probably do something crazy and shocking that I would take Amon-Ra here rather than the aging Tyreek Hill, especially with everyone wanting Jalen Waddle as well. And heck, even over Christian McCaffrey, especially with the last draft we had, we ended up taking Christian McCaffrey with the first overall pick. That's the only share we really had Christian McCaffrey in this draft. With CeeDee Lamb here, man, it just seems like a surefire. It's just hard not to go this route. So for me, you know what? I'm going to do something shocking. I was going to do it. Guess what, guys? Next time if I get the number 2 pick, I will choose Amon-Ra St. Brown over CeeDee Lamb. One, just to switch things up, because every draft literally has been this start. Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and then here is where I personally would do Amon-Ra St. Brown over Jamar Chase, over Justin Jefferson, just because Burrow's still coming back from an injury. Guess what? Wrist injury. He will be ready by camp. Justin Jefferson, hey, you got Sam Darnold throwing to you right now. Maybe J.J. McCarthy sneaks in later in the year, but he's still a rookie. I feel they paid him just to make him happy this year. They paid him the most amount of money to make him happy this year for a reason. So, I believe Amon-Ra St. Brown, personally, number 3 over Tyreek Hill. That's what I'll say it. And then after Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson to end and then we're gonna see who ends the first and then start the second. So we are 11 picks away. Marvin Harrison Jr. number in the first round, followed by Jonathan Taylor. Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, I bet ER is so happy. That's a nice pick. Hey guys, I love going wide receiver. But in most drafts, where especially if you only have two wide receivers to fill out, choose your champion. And then if you have the opportunity for Jameer Gibbs, congratulations. You're on a winning formula. After Jameer Gibbs, Drake London, Chris Olave, Nico Collins, Debo Samuel were 4 picks away. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams gets no love. Mike Evans is who I would technically go. DK Metcalf. There goes Devontae Adams. Brandon Ayuk. We're 1 pick away. I'm hoping for Mike Evans here. Just give him to me. Just give me the touchdowns. Here, especially in best ball. Heck, Mike Evans doesn't go. I may go DK Metcalf. That's another beast. But oh, Devontae Smith. Wow, it really goes. So for me, I mean, the connection's there with Baker Mayfield. He's gonna be great, especially in those weeks where he gets those multiple touchdowns. And in best ball, that's all we're looking for. 2 picks away, and I say we go ahead here and personally would get my first running back. And it's either Kyron, Derrick Henry, or Isaiah Pacheco. Right now, Kyron Williams is still here. I believe he's still the guy. Sean McVay loves him. And what we're also going to be doing here, and what I always preach, especially here in best ball, to solidify these backfields, go after Blake Corum, which is who we'll be trying to get later on as we fill out this running back core. So, guy after us, auto drafts, goes to Malik Neighbors, probably who he had queued up. DK Metcalf after that. We are 18 picks away, so we have a long ways to wait. I mean, right here, how I'll probably want to end this, or the 2 picks I'm looking at coming back, is going to be another running back, if he could possibly be there. Would love Isaiah Pacheco, but there's a very slim chance that he makes it back to us. That would be amazing. If we could somehow end up with Kyron Williams and Isaiah Pacheco as our 1-2, obviously in the wide receiver course, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, possibly could have went DK Metcalf there. Um, I just, especially in that wide receiver 2 spot. I mean, heck, he put up 40 against the Cowboys. I know because I played against them that week. But after DK in the 3rd round, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry goes, DJ Moore, who is part of that 3-headed wide receiver core there. George Pickens, who I think, or he is an alpha. He's going to be a top guy this year. See Axiom. Okay. Brees Hall, Nico Collins, George Pickens. That pretty solid right there, I'd say. Stephon Diggs after that. Isaiah Pacheco goes. And his core is Puka Nacua, Drake London, Isaiah Pacheco. And that is a great way to start, guys, because in round 7 through 8, 9, there's just a cluster of running backs that you'd much rather take than the wide receivers at that point. So if you get your 2 top dogs, especially in a 3 wide receiver set, get your top running back and who you believe in, whether it's Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry, who's going to get those touchdowns there, Isaiah Pacheco, who I don't know if could flash any reminiscence, does take that 3-back role. I mean, can Jamal Charles happen again? Perhaps. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the only backup. So there is some excitement with him. And obviously, the other one's still here kind of on the board. ETN did great last year. Can he stay healthy again? That's the question. After that, I mean, maybe you can take a chance with Josh Jacobs. Make sure in this best ball format, grab was it Marshawn Lloyd later on? I believe it's Marshawn Lloyd. Um James Cook, who was very limited on the touchdowns last year. Joe Mixon, which lately I don't know. Houston goes and ends up signing Cam Akers. After that, it's reported Joe Mixon misses his second practice away from the team. Question marks there. We're 3 picks away. Gonna go ahead and see who falls. So would love. Oh heck! All right, guys, we're 2 picks away. We're gonna be able to possibly get top quarterback and a top tight end, which I believe the guy next to us is gonna go ahead and hammer. So the thing here, oh, it's gonna auto pick Hurts. Man, that's gonna make it really tough. So right now, there's probably quarterbacks later on that I like. I'd much rather take Mark Andrews here just because the guy behind me does not have that tight end. T. Higgins. Oh, leave Patrick Mahomes, please. I'll take this draft if you leave it. Oh, he left Patrick Mahomes. Wow. So, guys, I personally, if this was my home draft, this is how I would probably go. There's still these other wide receivers, but like I said, we already have 2 filled out. And if I can get Keon Coleman there in that third wide receiver role, I'll take that. I'll I'll take that. Wow. Guys, running back wise, what are we? We just did fifth round, fourth round pick Mark Andrews. Guy behind us went back to back wide receiver. We did Patrick Mahomes after that. Uh, I mean, I think we have a pretty solid core for this best ball season. The thing now is to make sure we solidify and back up certain positions. So right now, how I've been doing a lot of these drafts, especially in best ball, and how you can possibly think about it in redraft too, just depending on how big your bench is. But obviously, we went Kyron Williams. Blake Corum is the new hotness. He's Hansel coming in behind, but also Sean McVay does still lean on his guy, and I believe Kyron Williams is still the guy. So in this best ball format, we will be targeting Blake Corum later on in the draft. If there's some other starters still available there, we may say yes. But in this format, we would take him. I mean, we'll have to check the ADP or the running backs he's going with. Where's Blake Corum? So look at that. He is right in the middle between essentially 3 starters: Gus Edwards in LA, Zeke Elliott in Dallas, and Jerome Ford in Cleveland. He is right there in the middle. So the bummer is of going this route is when we do get to this point of like, hey, maybe we want to take the chance on Gus Edwards or Zeke, because with that backfield you can just get Rico Dowdle later. Same with Jerome Ford. Go ahead and get Deontay Foreman later. Nick Chubb probably not going to be back for a while. Even then, running backs coming back from an ACL tear or a devastating injury that he came from, even though he is squatting over 500 pounds right now, still, Jerome Ford will be the guy until he's hurt or not, So that's the only bummer is you do have to consider him overtaking a shot on those other guys, especially, well, for example, Zeke. Like I always mention, he will get 30 yards a game, but he will also get 1 to 2 touchdowns for you, which in best ball, that's all you're asking for. 5 picks away, we have our core. Honestly, We're going to be 6-7, so we can start getting some guys that we like. Some exciting Xavier Worthy uh, highlights in training camp would be cool if he possibly fell 3 picks away. Don't think he is. Lad McConkey is there. Could go ahead give a chance on him. Uh, we probably won't get a shot at Zamir White in round 8 because yeah, that is going to be the end of round 8, round 9. So here with Xavier Worthy going, a lot of people believe Lad McConkey is the guy. Even then, the number one guy in a pass light offense as the Chargers, what are you going to want? So we're going to go here. I'm going to get the rookie I like in Keon Coleman. I am hoping Zamir White is down enough and this guy already has 3 running backs that he won't attack him and he will attack another position like Evan Ingram. He goes Roma Dunze for another wide receiver. Go another one. Go Lad. Let him be your champion. But with this, there you go. Hey, goes Lad. Good for you. Zamir White, honestly, is the guy I'm going to be here. David Montgomery is going to get touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, question marks. Is he going to practice? Aaron Jones, question marks. Ramondre Stevenson, they paid him. You can go him. James Conner, may like Trey Benson later on. But Zamir White, he right now is the guy. Alexander Madison is the only one behind him. It's him. If you get those biceps, you're him. So with the way, as we mentioned, how we do best ball with running backs, with their depths and backfield, we have 2 guys now with different buys where we easily, Blake Corum is the one we're going to have to pay for, but Zamir White easily get Alexander Madison later on. We're also going to be targeting another running back, hoping by some chance Raheem Mostert falls to us. A lot of people still hating his own coach is telling everyone he is still the guy. A-Chain did have some injury concerns. And that's the thing. They're both going to be on the field. They're both going to complement each other. But the main thing is going to be health. And you can have young, fast, exciting, or you could have the old durable Raheem must start. And perhaps, they want to give him the touchdowns, especially with him being the veteran. So I am going to take the chance on Raheem later on over A-Chain. And guys, right now, I just feel this is a pretty well-balanced team that I am comfortable with going into my own redraft leagues. So obviously in redraft, the bench is going to be limited. You may not be what we're going to be doing, targeting Isaiah Likely later on to complement Mark Andrews. Drafting another tight end. Heck, even targeting right now, since we have a good solid core, maybe perhaps another quarterback. If they fall, we're 7 picks away. Obviously, Kyler Murray's probably not going to fall, but Dak Prescott's still there, which, guys, a lot of people want to hate on Prescott. There goes Raheem. A lot of people want to hate on Prescott, but statistically wise, they put up the numbers. He is Mahomes. The main thing is playoff wins. So to have Mahomes and Dak, that'd be pretty nice here in best ball. Both had different buys. Don't have to worry about another quarterback and can worry about, getting another extra running back or wide receiver who we may possibly believe in. So we are 2 picks away. Man, Kyler Murray is the youngest. Okay, there he goes. Thank you, Kyler Murray. So Right here, we will be targeting Dak Prescott just to make sure we get him. Obviously, the guy behind us does not have a quarterback, so we lock up our quarterback position here, and then we'll more than likely getting a Brian Robinson, who in the 1A, 1B, or the young hotness Trey Benson. That is that is hard. That is hard. I think I want to take a chance on Trey Benson. James Conner, I believe the statistics says he's never had a full season. So right here, if we get two vets, get Trey Benson, I think we'll be in a decent position. The question marks with Tony Pollard. Brian Robinson, like I said, I believe he is the 1A there, and he will get the goal line touches. So in best ball, more than likely we get there. Right now, I'm banking on Trey Benson just later on in the year. James Conner breaking down. So we're 18 picks away. As we scroll down and see who will possibly fall to us, right now, who we are hoping on is Blake Corum, which if we were looking at another running back, Zeke Elliott would be my pick, or perhaps Jerome Ford, who year two running back will be coming in as the starter for the season. It's his job to lose. So I have a lot of stock in Jerome Ford just because with my drafting strategy as well, like I said, I've been trying to lock up Deontay Foreman later. I'll take those two with Nick Chubb coming back later on in the year. And like I said, probably being eased in, not necessarily being that explosive player as he was last year before the injury. So we're 14 picks away. We have three great running backs, two quarterbacks locked up in that position. More than likely will not be targeting anyone else. Tight end, Mark Andrews. We will get one more for sure just to see who falls. The ones kind of left that I like are Goddard and Schultz. Here's the thing with best ball, though. Even though we are getting a backup, the one thing that will be the tiebreaker between tight ends will be the bye. So, as you can see, Mark Andrews has a Week 14 bye. Dalton Schultz, who I kind of like a little bit more than Goddard, does have a Week 14 bye as well. So, if the two are there, our choice would be Goddard, possibly Cole Kmet, Pat Fryermuth. Later on, give a shot at Luke Musgrave in that Packers offense. He was good as a rookie. I believe more in Jordan Love rather than all of the other tight ends. So obviously there goes Goddard. So here we go. May give a shot. Not necessarily at Schultz, but Kmet and Fryermuth. So Javonte Williams. So we're 3 picks away. Allen doesn't have any running backs. So more than likely we get. There goes Gus Edwards. We're hoping he does not go Blake Corum. We're hoping Blake Corum falls to us. That is the main thing. Blake Corum falls to us. We are solid in best ball locking up that LA backfield. Would love to have Corum here. If not, Jerome Ford will more than likely be the pick, being the other running back. There we go. We're going to go ahead, guys. Blake Corum, who is already making a good impression, to lock up that LA backfield. So I'm feeling pretty confident in our core. I'm actually, as much as I love Schultz, Kmet here, I'm going to be taking another running back in this position. And I believe Jerome Ford as that RB1. Role depends on running back injuries. He is that other one. And look at that. Man, I'm This is my draft. So when it comes back to us in 20 picks, more than likely we'll see what tight ends are available. We queued up three. Those three more than likely will not be available to us. So as I come back here, like I said, Musgrave would be a great one to give a chance to. I like Hunter Henry mainly because he will just be the red zone touchdown guy to give us points to back up Mark Andrews. That would be amazing. Bummer here though, week 14 bye. Could give a shot at Noah Fant. Seattle tied in there. Isaiah Likely obviously is who we are queuing up to make sure we back up that Baltimore tight end, uh, I guess, field. But yeah, guys, I like the way this draft is shaped out. In best ball, I feel somewhat pretty confident in every position aspect. Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, both different buys, both going to be the starters. What I love also here too, with us going CeeDee Lamb, we got Dak Prescott for that stack. It's perfect in best ball in this format. Mike Evans going to score those touchdowns. Keon Coleman, the young rookie, 6'4", going to be Josh Allen's number one, I believe. And then we got top five tight end in Mark Andrews. Last year's MVP's number one target pretty much every year. It's Mark Andrews. So we have our strategy in mind. Obviously, we locked up that LA running back field. I like to end up with at least 6 running backs, and right now we can lock up Las Vegas with Alexander Madison. Can't necessarily with Arizona with James Conner there. But with Jerome Ford, we also have Deontay Foreman, who is generally free towards the end of the draft. So when it gets to this point, I think Zamir White is going to be that 3 down back. So I would go Deontay Foreman to fill this out. Let's go ahead see who's going to fall here in 5 picks. Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet would be... Chalil. Jermaine Burton. Oh. Oh, hamstring injuries. No, Ricky. Ricky, you're off the list. We have training camp hamstring injury, guys. That's dangerous. Xavier Leggett, another dog. Another dog. Starting training camp. What does that mean? Okay. So, tight end wise, Cole Kmet fell to us. I mean, we're gonna see if he'll be that safety blanket for Caleb Williams. There's a lot of options there. I think he'll be a good sort of safe pick. And then here, Shad Bateman. We'll go ahead and start filling out some wide receivers. So, I mean, Xavier Leggett, I believe I want to give him a shot. Dang it. I missed it. Well, that was a bummer on my end. That was just a fumble. Dang. Fumbled that. Well, boo. Guess you can't win them all, guys. But could definitely help us out in the end. Obviously, like I said, young rookie. We'll see how he does tight end wise. And tight end position locked. If we need an extra spot, with us only going 2 quarterbacks, I always like to end up with 3, leaves an extra spot open. Does still leave Isaiah Likely there just to solidify that position. But regardless, there's still going to be some other wide receivers. We're going to go ahead and try and target Rashad Bateman. Coaching staff really likes him, is really hyping him up, talking him up. If we could have had Lee Gett and Rashad Bateman here in this wide receiver role, would feel a little bit more confident. But we'll see who possibly falls. A lot of people want to sleep on Adam Thielen. He's the old head. Some people love Michael Wilson taking the jump, the 2 year jump after, right behind Marvin Harrison Jr. Troy Franklin, who a lot of people are talking about, will have the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow connection in the rookie year there in Denver. So there is some young excitement we can still give some shot and attraction to. Tyler Boyd, going to be the wide receiver 3 there in Tennessee. As we go down, Javon Baker, rookie, could give a shot. DJ Chark, wide receiver 3, battling for that. Let's see, Foreman. Okay, we're 7 picks away, so I'm going to start going back up, just seeing who's going to fall. 6 picks. I'll take Adam Thielen here. He gave us 6 games, or early enough in the season. Deontay Johnson is there. Obviously brought in from free agency. I like Lee Gett as the young rookie. Giant human being as well. But perhaps Adam Thielen, being the veteran he is, can provide some of those just boom games. So obviously in best ball, with us not having to worry about, starting him this week or whatever, this is where it would be great to have just that person who could possibly boom in those weeks, especially with us already having those 3 stars. Man, Rashad Bateman already goes this early. That's who we were hoping on. But what that does leave us open is to the option of either Michael Wilson or Troy Franklin here if they're still available to us. So we will get the veteran here in Adam Thielen. I'll take 1,000 yards in the 14th round. Take 900. Couple touchdowns. Back to us. We either get Michael Wilson, Troy Franklin. I honestly have 0. I mean, I really wish Rashad Bateman was there. Isaiah Likely, they're on the bottom. We have 4 wide receivers. There's other ones we'll get later on. I am using my last quarterback pick, who we left that slot open, to make sure we get the Baltimore tight end position, because that right there is a value position to own in fantasy football. We got 2 guys, obviously to anchor perhaps some weeks and could provide some of those boom weeks for us. Right now, wide receiver wise, we are leaning heavy on our 2 main picks. Keon Coleman, though, as our wide receiver 3, I will take in a draft all day, every day. We'll go ahead. Obviously, I wish I, took Xavier Legette rather than Luke Musgrave. We'll still give that shot at Adam Thielen. But we will see what other wide receivers will be here. So 17 picks away. I'm going to go down here. 21. We will see which ones are available. I see Tyler Boyd. So Tyler Boyd's a cutoff. John Baker. As I scroll down, Zay Jones was slotted in as a 3 or 4 wide receiver in Arizona. See who goes ahead and moves down. Kendrick Bourne, out of all the excitement with these rookies, just do the Google search, guys. He's still listed as one of the starters in that offense. So he has kind of been one of the last guys I'm anchoring in that position until other information comes out and until otherwise. Oh, Kadarius Tony. Did, did he finally work on his hands? Well, 8 picks away. 8 picks away, and then we will be making our round 16 pick shortly after our round 17 pick. So I love it, guys. Another draft right here down the board, leading us to our last three here. Looking at the roster, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, both different buys, position solidified. Running back wise, looking up here, Kyron Williams, Zamir White. I'll take that, especially here in my redraft leagues all day, every day. Trey Benson, Blake Corum, obviously to solidify LA. Jerome Ford will be taking one more running back, and instead of Alexander Madison, I would much rather take Deontay Foreman, just because I believe he'll be more the goal line, or will possibly be the goal line back. Someone already take him? Someone already took him? What? That's wild. Dobbins? Yeah, someone took Deontay Foreman. Wild. Someone knows me. Someone knows me. Alexander Madison. Running backs locked. We'll see. Maybe a wide receivers light. Russell Wilson. Gonna go Kendrick Bourne. And then we'll see who we want with our last pick. Alright. Well, guys, other than the one slight miscue on my part of wishing we had Xavier Lee get there instead of Luke Musgrave just to get another solid wide receiver who I believe in would have a good season. I mean, heck, if Xavier Lee wasn't there, Ricky Pearson would have been a pick, and so I saw that NFI hamstring list. Jermaine Burton, wide receiver 3 there in Cincinnati, interesting pick, especially with talks of T. Higgins not getting that new contract, or was it T. Higgins not getting the contract, or Jamar Chase? Well, him not getting the contract until next season as well. Jermaine Burton, very interesting pick there later on. I also love Rashad Bateman. Had my 2 picks in there, and I would have chose Xavier Lee over Luke Musgrave, and would have been hoping that Rashad Bateman uh, would have been there. But we are here, and so we ended up drafting an extra tight end than we normally would, because like I said, I normally would have just loved Mark Andrews, Cole Kmet, and then Isaiah Likely there. We'll go ahead just see who falls for our last wide receiver pick. If not, I mean, if there's no one really there who can provide the value, it's more of like, would you much rather have a quarterback who can, throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns, who could explode, possibly. I don't. Who takes the 2-year jump? Who takes the jump? Who can make Bryce Young work? I mean, because everyone else here, backup, backup, starter fighting for reps, starter for the start of the season, and then battling for that second spot. Taysom Hill, of course, going to be used on the goal line as a quarterback. We're 6 picks away. Honestly, guys, I as value, just because we have Adam Thielen, honestly, Bryce Young would be the only other pick here, which would give this team, at least this team, any somewhat of a boost. And it would simply just be that Bryce Young, Adam Thielen stack, which I'm sure everyone is fighting for. So 3 picks away. We'll see if Bryce can possibly fall. Other two guys here only have 2 quarterbacks. They may want to get one more, or they may want to get. Heck, I don't know if that guy may need an extra tight end, but he's already got 8 wide receivers. Could use a running back. Oh, hey, goes them and Dameon Pierce. So Bryce Young falls, guys. There's no one else really any other value. Oh, Tyler Boyd, wide receiver 3, maybe. I don't know. But we're going to do Bryce Young. He is our quarterback 3. And gives us that little boost we need. We are, like I said, on that wide receiver. Would wish that was 6 and 3. Because then, hey, guys, talk about balance. 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs. Would have been 6 and 3, but 5 and 4. So, another great draft. Really appreciate episode 13. And hey, what better? Just, of course, something crazy happening. Sabotage. No, not sabotage. Just my, of course, miscue on that. Otherwise, this would have been a perfect draft. Once again, guys, at least in my eyes. Maybe not yours. But really appreciate it, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Episode 13. I'll recap real quick. We picked from the 2 position. So we, of course, went CeeDee Lamb. If we were 3 or 4, would have been Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just believe CeeDee Lamb is the best wide receiver to choose here. So he is the pick that I will choose. So went CeeDee Lamb, came right back around, went Mike Evans. For our 3rd round pick, especially as I would start this in my redraft leagues, with normally me having to start 3 wide receivers. I love having those 2 guys as my solid core. Had Mike Evans not been there, DK Metcalf possibly my next one, as he is just a man, DK Metcalf. Was able to get a solid running back champion in Kyren Williams. And in this format, get the backup. In redraft, I would be targeting Blake Corum as a backup. He is last year's Zach Charbonnet. If you draft, last year if you drafted Kenneth Walker, you needed to draft Charbonnet. This year, if you draft Kyren Williams, you need to draft Blake Corum, just in case. So we got Kyren Williams, was able to sit back, because with that core, felt very confident in then getting our top tight end in Mark Andrews. And then, lo and behold, Patrick Mahomes was there for us. If Patrick Mahomes was not there, possibly would have went another wide receiver or running back, just depending on who would have been in that position. And then just punted the position, maybe just waited on Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, target those 2. But Patrick Mahomes fell to us, guys. So we got that great core, was able to fill in the guys in between. Obviously, with best ball, you need to get those backup positions. So feel strongly in Dak Prescott. With the running backs, felt strongly in Zamir White. Trey Benson, I think, is going to be great later on in the year. Blake Corum for that backup position. Jerome Ford as the running back 1 right now there in Cleveland. Was hoping Deontay Foreman was going to fall to us. He surprisingly went before, even though he was listed at a later ADP. So instead, we went ahead and just got Alexander Madison to shore up Zamir White, and we locked up 2 backfields this year in best ball draft. So wide receiver, obviously we had our core CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Keon Coleman as our wide receiver 3. I feel confident in it. Would have loved Xavier Leggett. Instead, had to settle for Adam Thielen with our miscue. Ended up going Kendrick Bourne because, like I keep mentioning, just Google until stated otherwise, he is listed as one of those starters. Tight end, mentioned that beast Mark Andrews, going Cole Kmet as that good backup. Would have just loved to have those two right there with Isaiah Likely as our third and final tight end, but with our miscue, obviously ended up with Luke Musgrave. But hey, will maybe just benefit us, obviously, in the end. Having a red zone target in a pass heavy offense with Jordan Love as your QB, we'll go ahead and stand behind that. So interesting here, we ended up with also two quarterback wide receiver stacks in Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and also Bryce Young and Adam Thielen, which I know everyone is hoping to get and leave with in every draft. So really appreciate it again, guys. Number 2 spot projected, we're kind of averaging just as right here in this 2,900 area. But really appreciate you guys tuning in again. Episode 13. Love it. Take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow.